Hello, everyone. No, what are we doing? Absolutely fine. Oh no, what do the captions say?
The captions have me asking for your sexy thumbs.
Don't they always? Hey everyone, how are we doing? Episode 8 now. Episode 8 of season 3. I can't believe that we made it to 8 episodes into this game. Or I can, but well, I mean, given some of the party decisions, I am slightly surprised, but that's fine. How are we all doing? We are really, really excited to be back. Last session, I was going to say last week then. We're not last week. Last session, we ended on a slight, well, a little bit of a lore drop, shall we say, and I'll try to briefly recap that today. But our lovely party are here on this very strange, very wild, chaotic island, and trying to make the best of it. Yeah, let's go around and introduce said party. Let's start with chaos. We're doing chaos today, aren't we? Let's start with Jen.
Is it chaos if it's predictable?
It's not predictable.
No, it's predictable.
Hello. Hello, my name is Jen. My pronouns are they, she. I'll be playing your friendly local, very distressed, unable to read wizard Estrella.
I feel like you're a bit salty about this not being able to read thing. It's getting
salty.
mentioned
I think
a
it's
lot.
hilarious. I think it's hilarious.
Also, it is chaotic because I normally start with me and I didn't this time, so whoa, shaking it up.
Okay, all
right. Cool. Let's go with Kumi next.
Hello, I'm Kumi. I'm playing the recently levitating enemy of seagulls, Goliath Barbarian, Kaluka.
Enemy of seagulls. They are hawks
yes,
as well. So please don't make them think that you're calling them seagulls, because I think that will be the final straw. They will come and attack you. Cool. Last but not least, also I will just put out there, it's very hard to do chaos. There are only 3 of you. I need to just really put that out there.
Roll a d6.
Hi, I'm Lulu. I am playing Callista, the party's part Triton cleric. And Callista is very concerned about the fact that Estrella can't read, and she has been, in the 30 seconds or so since we last saw her, been racking her brain trying to figure out what she can do to try to alleviate the situation.
All right, thank you. Yep, 100% agree. Seagulls are awful. They are good enemies to have. We do have some seagulls here in Therosian Odyssey. We haven't seen them for a while. And they are little thieves. They only help out when they think food is in the offering, I'll be honest. Pretty sure that our good friend Sam Size in the chat has recently written a seagull-based tabletop role-playing game, a little one-page RPG. I'm pretty sure I saw that. So there you go. There's a little bump of that. Cool. So that just leaves me, because I put myself last. Oh, it would have been more chaotic to put myself in the middle somewhere, but I kind of hate it. Anyway, so I'm Kat, otherwise known as the Law Mistress on the internet. I use she, they pronouns, and I will be the dungeon mistress for this game, as I always am, the facilitator, the cat herder, or I'll attempt it anyway. I'm mostly unsuccessful in that endeavor, but we shall see. So just before we start, just a little bit of a very safety brief. A very brief safety brief. Oh, my brain. We are going to be playing a game called Dungeons and Dragons, and it is rooted in fantasy tropes and Also, it is set in a very ancient Greece-inspired setting. That means that there might be some of those tropey things that you see in that kind of media coming up in this game. There won't be any sort of discriminatory or language or hate speech. I don't kind of include transphobia, homophobia, ableist speech, anything like that in my games, but there might be like tragic backstories, for example, that might have some things that people will not enjoy watching. So if that is the case, if anything comes up that you're thinking, oh, this is not my cup of tea, then thank you so much for your support. I would rather everyone that is watching protect their headspace than spend any longer watching this stream that might trigger them or harm them in some way. With that said, how are we feeling, players? Are we feeling ready? Are we feeling good?
That sign can't stop me because I don't know how to read.
Cool. Well, hopefully that will change at some point. Fingers crossed. You don't know. Australia doesn't know. I do. So we rejoin our party on their first island of this set of islands known as the Dakra Isles. It is an island infused with some strange, wild, chaotic energy, a magic so strong that it has drawn in eidolons from far and wide, one of which you communicated with in order to learn more. Detecting her thoughts, you, Callista, managed to use them to connect with confused images of the island's history. You saw the island at night. You saw Eidolon soldiers forming a line and marching, and you felt, for some moments, the thoughts and experiences of the tree that they emerged from. It lived so long, its magic strong and nurturing, and it rejoiced in the death and the crumbling skeleton of some serpent creature from long ago that once tormented it nightly by drinking from its roots. And then the sky split, and filled with prismatic light of all colours, like the Nyx itself opened up into some gaping chasm. Out of the cracks fell something. Further and further, closer and closer, a ball of white-hot energy that contained some kind of silhouette. It was impossible to see any detail other than its vaguely humanoid shape. But it plummeted, and it hit the island, washing it with a blast of wind so great that this great tree was blown back and half uprooted. It could no longer see into the serpent's chasm where this thing landed. But it could feel magic, wild, chaotic magic bubbling in the air, and night fell, bringing with it a deep red glow and the rumbling movements of that serpent. It should be dead. It's long dead still, but it has been given life in this moment and seems intent on one purpose. It clamped its jaws around her precious roots once more, but this time not to feed, to corrupt. Her magic alters, it changes, and she cries out the only thing she can think to plead for. The one who saved her before can surely do so again. She cries out for Pericles, and deep where her roots grow so low into the ground that perhaps they even feel the stirrings of the underworld, she feels Pericles' answer. Connecting with the tree this way, though, Callista, it triggers something. That wild, chaotic energy, it almost seems to have sentience, you realize. And as you pull away from the memory, it fights back. Callista, I would like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, no problem. I had a feeling something like that was coming. I mean, because Callista didn't even think about using magic on this island where using magic is not the smartest thing to do. Wisdom
That was the
saving
first thing you
throw.
did.
Oh god, math. 13 plus 8.
21.
Yeah. So not too bad.
Okay.
No,
21
25.
is pretty good. Okay. So you take 10 points halved down to 5 points of psychic damage.
Okay.
As this magic sort of roots in your mind for a moment, and it hurts. It is essentially forcing you to disconnect your thoughts from this eidolon, to stop prying. As soon as you disconnect, this eidolon looks panicked, and this energy fizzes around them. And all of you, I would like you all to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Dexterity. Okay.
Have we not suffered
Oh
enough?
my gosh. I
I'm
really
not
thought I
nearly
was
as
better
good
at Dex.
opposed. Oh, yeah.
That's an 18 total.
18 for Kaliuka.
Callista got a 4.
Please hold. Every single time I forget to bring out my character sheet, I have a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Okay. So, the two of you that passed, Kaliuka and Estrella. I don't know why balloons. I'm
Delay for
celebrating.
us.
Congratulations, you passed.
I'm celebrating
sang.
because you're getting hurt. Estrella and Kaliuka, you take 11 points of lightning damage as this eidolon just kind of like fizzes, and almost sort of seems to like connect with the two of you. It's already connected with Callista, but it connects with the two of you as well, and it sort of seems to like lash out in the magic that you guys have. It has this chaotic edge to it from Kaliuka, and it is lightning damage from Estrella. Two of you take 11 points. Callista, you actually take 23 points
Ooh,
of
that's gonna hurt.
lightning damage. That's, yeah.
I want to cast counterspell. Not really.
Okay.
There's
you
multiple
can
problems with that. There's
try.
multiple problems with that.
No, you could try to cast counterspell from memory if you like. We can do that. Yeah, we can play that game.
No, this is not a spell. This is this. What I, and by extension Estrella, because this is I fucking love playing a high-end character because I can be a little bit nerdy. This strikes me as like some sort of like arcane like feedback of sorts. I don't think this is a
Yeah,
I don't think this is an actual spell.
It's essentially the equivalent of like when a microphone like has that kind of sound feedback loop and everyone goes like that.
Yeah.
That is basically what just happened. Poor Callista got the brunt of it. I'm not gonna lie, it happened inside her head and also physically. And it makes a lot of sense, Callista, that I think that you wouldn't have been able to kind of like react to the physical side of it because you're like holding your head like yeah. So you take this damage, and this creature, this eidolon, she's not hurt, by the way. It kind of like emanates from her in a wave, but she doesn't seem to be affected by it. The eidolon that was kind of down the branch a little bit near her, he sees it kind of bubbling, and he barely like stands because he's so like involved in his work, but he kind of looks at it and he's as if he's trying to remember, like, this seems dangerous, but why? Should I do something about this? Like, his memories are slow. All the eidolons here, their memories seem a little like lost and foggy, and he just starts to stand up as if to get away, and then this huge wave of electricity sparks outwards. It hits him, and he eviscerates instantly.
Just to be clear,
Wow.
eviscerates or evaporates?
Eviscerates.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
is there
Okay.
yet any sort of remains left, like any dust or smoke, or has he
I
just
would say that
completely?
there's kind of some smoke that goes up in the air, yeah.
And the Eidolon that we were talking to, has she calmed down?
She seems back in herself. She looks frightened. But she still seems with it. The others have that very like unfocused look in their eye. There are some kind of like on the tree branches around. They're watching the spectacle. They saw what happened and they're kind of all like shock, kind of like react as if they're like, ah! But then they kind of go back to what they were doing and don't. It's almost as if they completely forget that it just happened again. Almost immediately, their eyes are unfocused. They're focusing on some task, all of them, or just kind of idly standing and staring into space. But this Eidolon still seems with it, and she kind of looks at all of you in like almost like shock.
Well, that was impressive.
Kalika will first look at Callista and say, Callista, just to ensure that you're okay. She's not gonna ask you that, but just gonna look at you like, is it okay?
Yeah, she kind of weakly shakes her head yes and just looks a little like she's got a pretty bad headache. She's like, yeah, no, I'm okay.
Look at the Eidolon then. Do you remember who you are now? That energy, is it your powers?
Nope, that was mine. Does this figure seem to understand what Kaliuka is saying?
Oh, sorry, I apologize. I thought that you were talking to Australia. I apologize. So you asked the Eidolon. I'm sorry. There's a really great Eidolon impression there. No, just staring into space.
I know.
So-
All of
Method
us
actor.
looked at
A+.
all of us looked at you like, oh, plot twist.
This is just.
The
let's
Eidolon's
say
just
I
like-
did that let's just say I did that purposefully. I'm so sorry. Please re-ask the question.
Do you remember who you are, and was that your powers?
And Estrella cut in with that was my magic, but
That's why I thought you were talking to Australia. Because Jen was like, nope. And I was like, oh, okay, they got this. All right, so the Eidolon, she really tries to think, like, and you get the feeling that you haven't brought her memories back, all of them. She's got a much clearer idea of what she used to be, what she is in this moment, and some of the context of the island and the history and what's going on around her. But she's not like completely understanding who she is. So she kind of looks at you and she goes, "Yes, I am a dancer. I have a name."
Do you see the island?
Well, yes, I see the island. Yes.
well, let's start
And
with.
she's looking around. She can see the others around her now. You can see like the focus is much more there.
Do you know your name?
She looks upset for a moment, and she's like, "No."
That's okay. Would you mind if I tried something?
What are you going to do?
I'm going to see if I can lift whatever is keeping your memories away.
You're going to perform magic. That's not a good idea here.
But what if it works? And I hold out a hand.
Is it going to hurt?
If it goes correctly, no. But as I'm sure you know, magic here can have unintended kitty cat. No, unintended
Cat?
uh,
And she's gone. No,
consequences.
just kidding.
It's up to you. It is your mind, but I think I would like to try to help you if I can.
She looks at you. She looks at you for a while, and then she kind of flicks her eyes back to Kaliuka. She seems to be focusing on Kaliuka as the person that she trusts. And so she's like, "Is she good at magic?"
Trust me, she knows more about magic than you and I ever would.
Okay.
She is safe. If
Um,
she says that
roll-
she can remove whatever is on you, you can give it a try.
Roll a persuasion check. And I think I'm gonna have Estrella roll the persuasion check because it's Estrella
Oh,
that
boy.
was
Can
doing
I
it, but
give
you
her
get
the help action?
advantage because you get advantage because Kaliuka has helped you.
Click, click, click,
But
click.
it was you that's originally suggesting the idea. No.
Natural 20.
Oh!
It was a 20 and it was a 3. The total was 22. The total is 22, but natural 20 for a total of 22.
For a total of 22. Okay. So she looks at you for a moment, like between you, and then she kind of takes a breath. I'm not sure that, I mean, it won't change what I am,
You
but
shouldn't. But if I can get any of your mind back, I
right,
would rather you be you.
yeah, okay,
And I
yeah.
can't guarantee that it will work. I can't guarantee anything, but I can tell you that I will try.
All right, I'll try. Yeah.
Okay.
And she looks at you, and she sort of sits back down very slowly, and she waits. Now, tell me what it is you want to do.
So I had my hand extended, just as a please take my hand gesture, and I do want to try and cast remove curse from memory.
From memory.
And
And
well, I can't read.
Remind me what level remove curse is again?
It's a 3rd level.
You don't try and do things easily, do you?
And
Nope.
actually, before, when Callista sees that Estrella is going to do this, she's like, oh, in for a little bit, in for more. And she's going to, like, go up to Estrella and try to cast a 2nd level spell since we're just throwing out. And she is going to cast Enhance Ability. She's going to pull out a little piece of fox fur and cast Enhance Ability and give Estrella Fox's Cunning, which will give you advantage on intelligence checks.
I was going to say, because it will
hopefully
be an intelligence. So I would have told you what it was so that you would cast the right ability, because I think that that's fair. It would have been, it's intelligence.
DM, since this has happened to us a couple of times, and I know, I've dealt with wild magic before. Is there any way that I can make some sort of understanding, like an arcana check or something, to decipher how I could reduce this sort of magical feedback that we're getting?
Okay. So do you know what? Yeah, you roll an Arcana check to see what you can maybe
And then
know
we
about
can see what the wild
potentially
magic does.
attempting to recover that. You casting a second level spell, obviously, Callista, that is
Yep.
going to that's going to
Let
add
anything too bad happen to her
some
with the wild
charges.
magic.
I would like you to roll a d20 for me.
I'm gonna
So,
switch to my.
that's a 10 plus 7 on the Arcana, so 17 total.
17. All right, all right, all right.
And Callista rolled a 10 on a d20.
10 and 10.
Okay. Okay, give me just a second so I can remind myself of the
Just like, give me a second so I can figure out how fucked you all are.
yeah, just give me 1 minute. Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves.
So, you said it's second level, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, you're very lucky that we just had a big magical feedback effect happen that reset your charge, essentially. So you have begun building the charge again, and your second level contributed to it, but it did not connect and actually cause something to happen this time.
Just priming it for when Estrella casts her spell,
Yeah, you're really just all you're doing here is just when Estrella casts the spell, you're just priming.
You're filling the room with gas so that when I light something, it'll blow up my face.
Yeah. That's basically what's just happened. But no, this is
No, I
helpful.
appreciate it. Thank you.
The enhanced ability, is it advantage? Did you say on intelligence checks?
Yes, I believe so.
That's gonna be helpful for Australian.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
With your Arcana check, Kumi. So you've lived with chaos magic inside you, and I think you have learned a little bit about channeling it and directing it and making sure that it doesn't spin wildly out of control most of the time. However, I think that really the answer I'm going to give you here is there is not really a way of the magic here that's fizzling in the air. There's just too much of it. It's you can't even begin to, and based on kind of what Callista just saw, you can't even begin to imagine how many years this serpent has been coming alive every night and corrupting the tree and basically increasing this chaotic energy that is at this island. But it is infused in every root, in every speck of sand. I think with a 17 though, what I will give you is based on the vision that Callista had, and I'm going to just go ahead and guess that Callista has either already shared what she's seen or will do in the upcoming, and you'll be able to make this connection when this information comes to light. The tree is not the source as it first appeared to be. The snake is. So if there is some kind of magical way of stopping this, you're not going to be able to, it could be that something has happened. You saw that great big ball of light, or Callista saw that great big ball of light, and it landed, and that's triggered something in this long dead skeleton and caused it to rear into life. So something about what has crashed into that skeleton is what caused this to happen. And so possibly, if there is a way of stopping this effect, if there is a way of stopping what is going on in this island, and helping the tree return to peace and kind of the the nurturing magic that it once created, it will be centered on that snake and whatever happened to it.
Got it. So Talika is going to just play a little tune to first kind of like calm down the spirit girl so she doesn't resist what Astrea is doing. And why not add to the chaos, honestly? So I'm going to give Astrea bardic inspiration just
Cool.
because, like, if she needs it for a saving throw or an ability check, if it comes useful in
She
any
may
way.
well need it for a saving throw,
Yeah,
yes.
I'm thinking more of the saving throw, you know? But
Yeah. Just imagine if you try to give her inspiration and then something happens and she just immediately needs it for a different saving throw than what we originally thought. Okay, so bardic inspiration and how many? Bardic inspiration. Remind me. So
it's
what?
a D8 that,
D-
that they can take to roll for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw.
yeah,
And
and you can
I'm
only give like one dice. Is that right, or can you choose
yeah,
how many?
it's a 1d6, my bad, not 1d8.
Oh, 1d6, yeah. I'm going to equate it to a first level. Is that its first stage, 1d6?
I
Or does it
think
get, because it gets more powerful later, does it not?
I think it is 1d6. It
I think it
think
goes up
starts
so.
at
with
d6 and then it goes to d8 later
D8,
on, and then I would
D8 and
probably
D10.
put that as like second level and so on.
Got it.
So I'll equate this to a first level. So roll a d20 for me.
A 14.
A 14. Yes, you are fine. Again, you feel like that magic brush past, but you're quite well in tune with chaos magic. And so again, you know that 17 in your arcana probably helps you to maybe swerve at the last second, as it were, and avoid it. And so okay, well, Estrella, so,
The time has come.
Yeah, Kat?
I sense some trepidation on the stress part. I just want you to remember that before you start chastising your friends who are just trying to help you get through.
Oh no,
what you essentially
absolutely.
just said, I want to cast a 3rd level spell from memory.
Well, how else am I gonna cast a 3rd level spell, Katrina?
I would like. Don't blame me, okay? It's cast spells that got you into this mess. I would like you to, first of all, so you're going to attempt to connect with the spell. It's a remove curse, so does it involve any rolling or anything from the other person, or is it just I cast it and it happens?
It is just I cast it and it happens. It's basically just all curses affecting one creature or object ends.
Got it. So basically, you're going to tap into the magic, you're going to remove the spell slot, and then we're going to find out if it works, because you're trying to do it from memory. So I need you to make an intelligence check as you dive deep.
And you do have advantage on that.
Appreciate you so much.
You have advantage on that, and you do have inspiration as well.
It is a 23.
23.
No 25, but it's a 23.
Still pretty good.
I rolled an 18. It's fine. Everything's fine.
You rolled an 18. An 18 is very good. Because it's a 3rd level, it was a higher DC, obviously. But you do succeed in this sense. What was your other die, out of interest? What did you roll?
The other was a 14, so it would have been a 19.
Oh, okay. I see. Hold on.
The fuck are you about to do to me, Kat?
That would still just about have passed. But anyway, I was just trying to work out. I was like trying to figure out if that would have like fucked you. You succeed. Okay, you're going to succeed in casting remove curse. let me just read the exact
Yeah.
thing.
And while I do that, kind of what
and
happens.
I will just note, Estrella, academically, for your interest, as it
Always
were.
interested in academic things. Academic things, not academically things.
Eidolons, they pop up over Theros. They're normally attracted to sites of great magic. We already discovered this. So they don't often pop up in the cities, because, well, certainly Akros wouldn't, but even Setessa and Miletus probably more often, because it's a very magic-based city. But they don't often pop up there because the energy levels of magic, it's just not the same in a city. They're very contained, they're very small and sporadic, spread across the city. We're talking like what they seem to be really drawn towards is sites of great power.
This is a big fucking beacon of magic.
Yeah, huge beacons. And I think the closest thing that you have to that in Miletus is probably, let me remind myself of the name of it.
The magic of friendship.
It's not even the Decacia. It's it is probably the Pyrgnos. Yes. So it's the great big tower. It's like the edifice of knowledge, like the archives, as it were. And that thing is so magically constructed and contains so much magic within inside it. It's probably the closest thing you have in Miletus to like a beacon of magic.
Okay.
That would attract those islands. But as I've said, those Eidolons, they're very unfocused. They barely remember what or who they are. They have snippets of moments where they rejoin society, and then it gone again in seconds. It's so difficult to hold a conversation with them, so difficult to understand. And they have been studies. There will have been studies performed on them. There will no doubt, especially in Miletus, have been people trying to figure out ways of connecting to them. But it's difficult to get through the fog. So I don't think there has been any success, really, to speak of. However, when you cast this spell, the fog is clear, because the fog has already been removed by Kaliuka's song and this very creative use of magic that we saw before. And this makes things a lot easier for you. And so I guess if we're talking kind of like from a student's perspective, this is very exciting, is what I'm saying. You're getting to do something that even some of the most learned scholars that are experts in the topic of Eidolons have possibly never got to do. Or
man, I would write about it if only I knew how to write.
Yeah, if only. So you connect with this Eidolon, and you cast Remove Curse. What you get from it as you do this process is a curse is part of it, okay? It is not so you are able to kind of uncover things for this Eidolon that they could not connect to before, but it is a curse that is laid down by rules and structure created by a god.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to break through all of it, but just provide a little bit of relief.
Your third level remove curse, with all the respect in the world for your study, Estrella, it ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah, no, God, no. I was very much not expecting like a full breakthrough, just kind of like a little bit of relief.
I think that's the biggest thing that you give her, is a sense of relief and a sense of understanding her identity better, and remembering, and you watch, because these eidolons, they're basically beings of like nicks. They're very hard to make out actual features on them. They're like almost blurred, they're distorted. Parts of them are like missing, they're just swirling vortexes in a lot of places. And so obviously it's because they have been separated from their physical body. So they are the remnants of memory and life and soul from the original physical body that now has created its own identity. And those are called the returned, and they cannot connect with emotion and feeling because that part still resides within the eidolons, essentially. Allegedly, should the two find each other, who knows what could happen? But this is all part of the curse that's kind of laid upon these creatures that have managed to escape the underworld. Or so the legends say.
So, DM, out of character, just for the
Yes.
sake of a little chaos, because Astrea has done this, and because it's the possibly one of the first times it's ever been done, and even though it's a third level spell, is it any? Does it give any scope to put out a little bit of a blip, a sort of call for a little divine attention by any chance?
Well, it's lovely that you posed that question to me out of character. I can tell you the answer out of character, but I don't know that you out of character really want to know.
Oh, I think I know.
But
I think I've just fallen into a slightly even worse standing with someone.
Well,
Look,
potentially.
he's not a fan of me anymore.
Yeah. As I've said, there's every chance that something like that could have happened. Yeah, because this is potentially the first time that this has happened, and essentially, Astrea, what Astrea is trying to do is tamper with the things that have been put in place by a god. So has that attracted a god's attention? I'm going to let you answer that in your head, and I'm going to give you no indication one way or another. Moving
I've already
swiftly
pissed
on.
this one off already. I've already pissed this one off, and I'm just going to keep going. I'm already in the negative. I might as well just keep going. It's fine. Maybe Kara knows how to appreciate my academic curiosity.
I'm not saying. Look, all I'm saying is that Astrea has a lot to say. Astrea has a lot to say about we communicate and we try not to have consequences for ourselves. But all I'm saying is that Astrea has had the biggest consequences so far for you as a party on a number of counts. That's all I'm saying. Not trying to sow discord. Not trying to say. But I'm just pointing out the facts. So.
Could be challenging a bird to a duel.
Again, just really just trying to like keep things in the world of perspective here. Challenging a bird to a duel. Magically challenging a god to a duel in a lot of ways.
I didn't challenge shit.
Yeah, but you might not have said a challenge. Have the god felt challenged is a different question. That's a different question, and you and I both know that. Anyway, so you connect with this being. And you manage to achieve something that has not potentially not been achieved before. You manage to give this eidolon a sense of purpose. They remember their name. It is Adelaide. Okay. That's what she says. That's the first thing she says out loud as she kind of connects to this. She just kind of gasps it. She almost says it as if she thinks that it's going to go away again, and she wants you to remember it so that you can remind her. She remembers that she was a dancer. part of a sort of traveling troupe. This was in Theros. She's never been to the Dakra Isles. She knows nothing about seafaring. She's kind of like babbling these facts. She's like, I don't know how I got here. I've never been here. This is the Dakra Isles, so I know that, but in life. And she keeps coming back to that. She'll suddenly just stop and she'll just look very upset and she'll say like, I'm dead. And then she will go back into like remembering other things. She remembers she was a dancer. She remembers she was part of a troupe. She doesn't remember the name of the troupe. She doesn't really remember what city they originated from, what cities they might have traveled to. If you were to say the 3 main city names, she's like, they might ring a bell, but can't really.
Does she have a regional accent? I'm so sorry.
No, that's fine. Damn. Roll. Yeah, you're getting the nitty gritty for these questions, okay? Meanwhile, by the way, I just want to put this out there while this is happening. The sun is setting. I'm just putting that out there, okay? It's you know, time is running out. Not that you're in any kind of time crunch, but
Yeah. Okay.
regional accent. Oh, flipping heck. Roll a. It's gonna have to be perception, right? Roll a perception check for me. Yeah.
All right. 18.
They're rolling so good, and it's annoying.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure
Really
it'll come
annoying.
back to bite me in the second
Yeah,
half.
yeah. Well, we'll see. I think you would potentially pick up a little bit of a sort of like Acroan regional accent. It's a tinge. It's just something about as she's kind of talking and the way she says a word. You've been around Acroans for a little while, and you kind of just, and you, Kaliuka, would definitely pick up on this as well. You've lived there your whole life, so just the way she says a word or two, you're like, oh, or maybe it's not even an accent so much as just like what words are being chosen. Like she
like
uses
slang.
like an Acroan like slang or something that is just enough for you to be like, there's definitely a connection there. It's not 100% that means that she was from Akros, but she's obviously spent a significant time in Akros or around someone that is Acroan.
Oh.
So that's the kind of conclusions you can draw from that. It might not actually be the city itself. It might be that she was in the company of someone that kind of taught her that slang. But she seems to know, not register it, you know. I think, yeah, so she sort of starts to connect with that. She connects with the fact that she's dead, but what it gives her is a remembrance of a memory of herself looking in a mirror. And she remembers what she looked like.
Oh.
Now, that is important because in the way that Eidolons and the Returned work, somewhere her body is running around as a member of the Returned. Hey, Cass. I see that's Fluffy Tail. I know whose Fluffy Tail that is. So somewhere that body is running around. They won't have her memories. They won't remember who Adelaide is. They won't remember themselves as Adelaide or having ever been Adelaide at all. But physically, they exist. And they will look exactly how she remembers. And you see her form, this swirling kind of like Nyx-like thing, start to shape itself into something that resembles it. Now she looks more like a ghost. If I'm putting it in like a context that you can kind of understand in this world.
Is that Is that better?
I yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. I know what I need to do. I have to find me. I have to find the physical me and then I'm free.
And
Then
then you're
it
free.
will all come back together. That's what Phoenix promised.
When you
And she kind of nods to herself.
when you find yourself again, come see me.
See you?
I live in Akros.
Across. Across. I think I know that word. I don't remember what it is.
It's one of the 3 poly. You actually have a little. Your voice has a little bit of an Acroan tinge to it. Maybe you're from there or know someone from there.
Maybe that's where my body is?
One way to find out.
Oh boy. I've got so much to do.
Now you can do it.
Okay, but I also remember things about this island, things that will help you. You're not. This island is dangerous. You shouldn't stay here.
We're just passing through, but if we can help, we want to.
Help? I don't see how you can help. When night falls, the serpent will wake.
Oh, that's ominous.
The
It will
serpent.
wake and it will eat from Andromeda, the tree.
And the serpent. Does the serpent have a name? Is it the pact? Is it the wandering beast?
That's a great name. I
Snecko,
know.
definitely Snecko.
Does it have a name? Because if it doesn't, I've got some ideas. Says Kalika. Yes, it does have a name. I just got to remember it. Ketos. Ketos is the name of the
Ketos.
serpent. It's the great sea serpent. It lived centuries ago, thousands of years ago, and it was killed by Perses.
Where is Perses now? I assume he was immortal. A mortal, not immortal.
A mortal, but a champion.
And she
Champion of Thassa.
did she call for Pharisees earlier when she mentioned a name?
Yes. As she sits down again, the serpent wakes every night. It eats at the roots. It does something to the tree, I think. I don't understand it. I don't know magic or understand any of it. But I feel the tree sometimes, and she's in pain. She's in pain.
What
And
did Perses do to defeat the serpent the first time?
he just fought it, but it was a serpent then. Now it's something more.
Estrella, Callista, do you feel like this serpent could be the one that's disrupting the magic on this island? I feel like it more than the tree. I feel like the serpent is the one that's causing things to backfire.
No, yeah, that's definitely what the impression that I got. And I really don't want to have to fight it, but I think we're going to have to fight
You
it.
won't be able to. It will be so powerful. The thing is, ever since it started coming to life again, Perses came back too at night. They reenact the battle, I think. But it's like a cycle. It happens again and again and again, but he can never defeat it and it can never die properly. It's already dead. It's already dead, so it cannot die again. It needs to be whatever is making it. I don't know. But Perses will
That's
come
helpful.
back. The sun is setting. He will be here soon with his warriors, and they will all night fight the creature.
Where does he initially appear?
Here, the tree.
Oh.
And she kind of gestures, and you can see like kind of like the tree is sort of still half embedded. Half of its roots are still rooted, as it were. Around the roots are large kind of tunnels, essentially, that lead down, very far down. If you were to look, I wouldn't even make you roll perception, because even with the passive perception that you have, you would not be able to see anything down there. It is so far, you can't see a bottom. They just seem to wind further and further and further down. They crawl out of the tunnels.
Astrea, the magic that you did on her, would that same sort of magic work on the tree as well?
I don't know. It depends on what sort of magic is affecting the tree. It's possible, but I am a very tiny person that is a very large tree.
And the skeleton as well. I don't know much about necromancy, but
Everybody gets a remove curse. The island, the tree, the serpent. Everyone gets a fucking remove curse.
I
if we
think
were able to-
that what you would get from what she is saying, as she kind of tries to give you as much information as possible, is that this is a cyclical thing. This is happening repeatedly.
We have to do something to break the cycle.
You have to do something drastic to break the cycle.
Yeah.
The tree possibly does have a curse on it because its magic is corrupted. You could attempt to remove that and
But wouldn't it
essentially
just happen
purify
again?
the magic again.
But wouldn't it just happen?
While
Wouldn't it
this
just like
cycle
keep
is
building up?
happening,
Yeah.
it would just start building up again.
Yeah.
The serpent clearly has had something happen to it as well. You have to figure out what is the source, what is the actual cause that is causing this serpent to come to life, because
we have to cut the power source sustaining this cycle.
Here, it's weird that it's happening only at night. It's weird that it's a cyclical thing. It's weird that it's supposed to be chaotic. This whole magic, this whole thing of this island is chaos, and yet there is still routine. There is still structure happening here, which implies. Hold up! That was a very interesting phase that Jen just.
No, I was gonna ask a question, but finish your thought.
No. You ask your question.
I would like. I'm gonna ask Adelaide. Are there ever any nights when it doesn't happen, or is it every single night without fail?
Every night without fail.
And
not moon related. Got it.
Has anyone tried to maybe disrupt the bones during the day, or take them far away?
Just take the head.
I'm just thinking, take the bones, throw it in the sea. Does it help, or do they reappear the next day like Groundhog Day?
So she kind of tries to reach back in her memory. This has been happening before I came here. I think I was attracted here by the magic, the huge beacon of magic that this was giving off. Which means that it grew up to this point. This island, it's been no visitors that I can remember.
Is there any point, any direction that you are drawn, even still now? Is there anything if you were to just let your mind be drawn in whatever direction it needs to be? Is there a direction that it is being drawn in?
The highest concentration of magic is here in this tree.
Do you remember
where it has been pushed in, but I feel a pull towards the serpent as well.
So perhaps there's a fragment in the serpent.
But the god that turned you, the god that made you as you are right now, did they give you any purpose when you had to come to this island? Have they only told you to watch the events every day?
I don't remember. Well, no. And she kind of it's like she tries to reach for a memory and dig into it. But then something is still blocked.
I'm just imagining Tilly at the back listening to all this, and it's just like,
Oh,
why are
Tilly
you
was
still asking
asking it all the
questions?
time.
We need to go back and tell the captain.
I think Tilly.
Honestly,
I mean, it's in character and it's in keeping. I'm so lucky that the NPC that you ended up bringing here wasn't one of the mouthier NPCs
Yeah.
like Suri, because otherwise Suri would
Oh my god,
definitely
sorry, would never
be
shut the fuck
spoken
up.
by now. Also, I just said Suri and my definitely not fruit corporate corporation thing thought I said a different word, and now all of my devices are pinging. Yeah, Tilly is just sort of Tilly's made herself comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. She's kind of sat. She's kind of watching. And at this point, let's have her actually say something. She kind of says, "I don't mean to interrupt this. I get the sense that you're getting a lot from this, but the sun is setting, and I'm listening, and it sounds like shit's gonna kick off at night, and night is coming. So I like, just in case you weren't tracking it or you weren't aware, I'm pushing in just to say, time is still going, but you're the expert. I'm just here for the muscle.
It's looking like we may be about to get into a situation that is, we are likely about to bite off more than we can chew. I don't think anyone here will judge if you want to go back.
I mean, I'm pretty big. The serpent, I haven't seen it yet. I don't know how big it is. I could maybe take it. I don't know. She has no idea, by the way, how gargantuan
One tooth is bigger than... One tooth is about as big as all of us stacked end to end.
Cool. Wait, hold up. Just weighing up my odds. But okay, but just how much of the serpent is left? Is it just one tooth? Because I could wrestle the tooth,
It is the entire skeleton, and the
whole thing.
A champion and his army every night cannot defeat it.
Well, no, she just said that they kill it every night. It comes back to life the next day, but they kill it. Like, it's possible.
We need to figure out how to make it stay dead. And that may involve doing such things as jumping on it.
There's a little spark in her eye. Huh. You're gonna need someone strong to jump on it, like someone that can like hold on. Like if serpents are pretty waggly, right? They flay around, they're waggling. You're gonna need someone that can hold on to it.
We would be absolutely thrilled to have you if you would like to stay.
I have not seen combat for quite some time. I'm
like
already missing Onyx and sparring. So
we saw combat last week.
It's still too long.
Okay.
It's actually a Minotaur thing. It's not. I can't say that.
Well, we will happily accept your help.
We should probably tell the captain to.
Will someone please write a note so I can send the bird?
I mean,
Ask the bird.
again,
what?
I'm just gonna push myself in there. We will have to walk past the captain and everyone to get. If we're going to the snake, we gotta push. We gotta go past him.
Eat
So,
my entire ass. You're right.
Callista.
you know, the way that we walked here, we have to walk back that way.
Oh yeah, honestly, I was kind of assuming we were gonna stay and like meet up with Therosian and then go together, but that's fair.
Oh yeah, like he comes out and we're like, hello, and he walks
Whoa.
through us.
You have come out. We accept you for who you are. Laugh, coming out joke. Anyway.
Callista, have
Yes.
you the god that she mentioned? I heard that they're a trickster god. Do you think that this could be a curse put by them, perhaps? Something for their entertainment?
I mean,
Would you like to roll me a religion check, Lily?
yes, I would love to. Because I was trying to read up on Phoenix in all the middle of that. Oh, that's not so good. What is my
Phoenix is a
religion?
little asshole, is what he is.
Religion. That's only a 14.
14, I think a 14 is enough. This is a pretty well-known story. Phoenix is the trickster god.
Mhm.
Mhm.
The greatest trick that he ever pulled off was escaping from the underworld and essentially starting a cult of people that also were like, holy shit, you escaped from the underworld? I want to do that too when I die. And he built up so much of a following that he ascended to godhood. That is how Phoenix got to where he is today. And so he is when people depict Phoenix in art and stuff, he is like a member of the Returned. They look they're humanoid. They wear masks though to cover their face and their features. And so does Phoenix in all of the depictions, because he is the first returned, essentially. He is the first person that ever came back from the underworld. The person that did not, or the god that would not have wanted him to do that, would have been Erebos, god of the dead, because once you are dead, you should be dead, and you should stay dead. And that is Erebos's rules. So when souls escape, when souls find ways out of the underworld, when souls fix themselves bargains and trick their way into breaking his rules, no, Erebos is not like that. Kaliuka asked if Phoenix was the one that might have been cursing Adelaide. No. Erebos's laws surrounding how the underworld works, how the reason why Phoenix had to leave the underworld in two parts, essentially, as did all the returns that came after Phoenix, is because he hasn't quite. That was basically the loophole to get them out of the underworld. So this is Erebos's laws of the dead that cause people that leave the underworld to split. It's allegedly the only way out is
Basically,
the only way that
Erebos
you
was
come
like,
out whole is if you come out whole but in two parts.
basically Erebos was like, you're never gonna leave in one piece, and Phoenix was like, want a fucking bet? All right, fine, I'll leave in two.
Yeah, basically. Erebos was like, you won't leave whole. Okay, I'll leave in two halves instead. Bye. And that's kind of what happened there. So it's an Erebos thing for sure.
Okay, yeah, and Callista will relay all of that. And I think at this point she's like, and, you know, I just have to ask the question or say the unspoken thing, but I mean, and I'm sorry, but we are on a mission. And I understand why this is important, but I mean, I just want to make sure we realize ask the question, is this our fight? I mean, I'm here if you guys want to. I'm 100% behind you, but we do have a mission.
No, you're right. I think regardless, we are camping here tonight. I think regardless of whether or not we fight this thing and whether or not we try, we are going to be on this island overnight. So I think since we are here, we are these people's best chance. And if we are going to be on this island tonight anyway, I would like to try and help.
I'm behind you 100%. I really could use a little bit of rest. I'm not feeling particularly good. But whatever I can do.
Maybe we should sorry to jump in again.
No,
But
by all means,
maybe-
Tilly/God.
maybe we should so I just try to imagine if that had canonically been what Estrella had said, how Tilly would have reacted to being called a god. I just think she would have just shut up. I think we should probably speak to the captain.
Yes.
This is your mission. The whole thing.
Yes.
You're absolutely
Either
right.
way,
Like,
we're gonna have to
here
go past
guide you
camp.
on your mission, but like,
No, you're right.
okay, between me and all of you, the captain's very precious about being a captain, you know, and we have disagreements, not very often. I mostly agree with and do whatever she says, and that suits me just fine because it means I don't have to think. But when I do think and I have a disagreement with her, we talk it out and stuff, but I always have to respect her final decision, because otherwise everyone does their own thing, and
There
then
has to
people
be a
get in
pecking order.
trouble and they get hurt. I think that we should speak to the captain about it, see what the captain wants to do. Shield's probably gonna want to stay on the island, but you know, maybe
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 the
we
fact that a
can
giant
help
snake
out while
comes
we're
alive
here.
every night. Yeah.
If this thing is gonna come alive and there's gonna be a great big battle and all these people are gonna be screaming at this serpent and the serpent's gonna be screaming really loudly, we're not gonna get much sleep anyway.
I wonder if we can change things by rebalancing.
It is
There-
unusual, isn't it? Like the amount of necromancy around here. We have an undead captain and this crew. We have this undead serpent as well. Do you feel like there's
I'm
any
wondering.
connection?
I'm wondering if our presence might, in itself, assist in breaking this cycle.
Well, I mean,
But
we've talked
obviously,
a
we
lot
have to go and
about-
talk to Cascade. But
yeah, but I think we talked a lot about the serpent, but maybe if we look at the serpent, we'll be able to see, you
Yes.
know, what's going on.
Do you think we should look at the serpent in the morning? We might not have enough time to investigate it fully right now.
if we look at the serpent in the morning, it'll be time for us to leave, and we won't be able to help.
We'll see what the captain says.
Yes, let's make plans after we talk.
We only have like
Yes.
Half an hour.
I'm
half an
gonna
hour of light left, so we should probably make plans quick.
I'm gonna turn back to Adelaide. It was lovely to meet you, Adelaide. Remember Akros, if you find yourself, I might be a couple of months making it back, but come see me. My name is Estrella, and I live in the Colophon.
Estrella. Colophon. Okay.
Come see me.
She kind of looks around now that she's slightly in touch with a sort of more humanoid part of her. She does have this moment of just looking like, the fuck am I gonna get off this island? Like, forgetting that she's an eidolon and she got here in the first place. But she's kind of having a look around. She's trying to like get her bearings together and stuff. But she does definitely seem to want to stay here for a moment and not like
Yeah, jet off.
integrate or whatever. So she's like, okay, thank you.
At your own pace.
Really, thank you.
And we'll see what we can do about the big snake.
Yes, well, I mean, it's not really my fight either, I guess, but while it's all happening, I don't know how far it will bread or what long-term consequences are?
One way to find out.
That's interesting. I think Callista's been listening to all this, and she's wiser than she is smart. But she looks at Kalyuk and she's like, you know a lot about chaos magic. And Estrella, you just know a lot about magic in general. The Dakra Isles are chaotic. They keep moving around. And there's the undead captain and this undead serpent. I mean, have the Dakra Isles always been chaotic and moving? I mean, could there be a connection between this tree and the Dakra Isles moving?
That is certainly more of a Cascade question, I think.
Oh, that's true. She does know a lot about them.
We are still in the process of knowledge transfer. I am still not as well versed in them as she is, so that may be a question best posed to her.
Well, if we're gonna do anything, we should maybe go check out that body of that serpent before we lose all of our light.
Yes, and of course I'm happy. I am happy to make an intelligence check while I still have that enhanceability up, but
You have it for an hour. I don't know how long we've been.
Yeah, whatever. But yeah, let's
I
go.
think you've only been here since you've cast that. You've literally only been here for like probably like 5, 10. I know in the real time it's been a longer conversation, but just in this moment, in this moment, I'll say it's been about 5 or 10 minutes of just like thinking this. The walk back to where Cascade is probably going to be about another 10 minutes or so.
Before we leave, I'm just gonna look at Adelaide and tell her that if you ever get back to Akros, you can find my family there. I have a little brother and sister who would be willing to help you if you tell them my name. And an older brother, if you ever feel like haunting someone for your entertainment, please feel free to do so. But tell little Ken and tell my little sister that Kalyuka has sent you to help, for them to help with, and they will assist you. And if someday we come back to Akros, I hope that in the gladiator ring, before a major fight, I might play a little tune for you to dance to.
She reaches forward and takes your hand, and she says, "Thank you, really, for everything that you've done. This could. I don't know how long it's been, but it could change things. I could get back to And again, she almost grasps at something, grasps at a memory for a moment. Someone. I'll get there. And she kind of pulls back.
We'll see you there.
Could I just also write her name on a piece of paper and give it to her? So that she doesn't forget her name.
You absolutely can do that, yes. Heading back to camp.
Heading back to camp. And I'm going to ask my bird very nicely. It is okay if she says no because she's not going to like it. I would like to ask Flitter to please go and look closer at this big skeleton. I recognize that she is a tiny bird and is a big snake, and she may just say absolutely not, but I'm going to ask her very nicely if she can look for any anomalies in the skeleton.
Question. So this is not a command you're giving.
This is not a command. That is not how I do Flitter. I don't do Flitter at all. She's a bird. That is.
We're gonna just skip over the fact that you said that.
That is not how we operate. We operate under mutual trust and just a general. It is a request. It is not a command.
In which case, have you presented your arguments to Flitter?
If we, the quicker, the more efficiently we can identify the if there is an anomaly in that body while it is dormant, the less time we're going to have to spend with it when it is active.
Cool. Roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put you at disadvantage because that skeleton is fucking scary.
Yeah, no, that's definitely fair. Yeah, no, it's a 12.
I think Flitter does take a second to process the question. And then she flies into your into like the crook of your shoulder, like into your hair, and she does this thing that she sometimes do where she just pretends to be asleep.
And I'll just like give a little laugh and just pat her and be like, it's okay. It's okay. It was worth a shot. You can stay right here.
She's not having any of that.
It was worth a shot.
Near that thing. I think she looks at you. She looks at the rapidly setting sun, and she like, nah.
It was certainly worth a shot.
Hell will empty before you'll find me flying towards that huge skeleton, knowing that at any second that thing is waking up hungry.
Question.
No.
Has my bardic inspiration expired?
It has not yet, no. Oh, shit.
17?
That's a lot better.
I put it at a 16. All right, we'll keep. We'll keep that she pretended to be asleep, and then I think she just gets a little like, please, and one of her eyes opens. She shakes her feathers out. She looks freaking grumpy. I'm gonna put that out there now. She ain't happy about this one little bit, but she gets up and she flies off towards this skeleton. Roll a perception check from Flitter's using Flitter's stats, please.
What did we agree on, Hawk?
I think yeah.
Crow or something? I don't know.
Crow. It might have been Crow.
Hawk. I think it was was it Crow? I think it was Crow because Hawk is too like combat. It's like not combat oriented.
Combat. Yeah, I think Hawk
or Raven. It was Raven.
Crow is better, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Raven. There it is. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that. All right. Oh no. That's it's an 8.
An 8. Okay.
I was terrified. You
know. The way I'm going to paint this is that Flitter does try. She tries to be brave. You're walking over there. You expect her probably to be gone for the entire journey that you're like walking back. You expect her to arrive back at you probably about the time that you arrive back at camp. I think you get about 3 minutes in to your walk back to the camp. I think she saw the snake and immediately went, nah. Like, it just scared her. So she took a quick look at the snake's head, went, everything seems in order here, and went back and didn't actually analyze the snake really in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, what you can get from Flitter, definitely a snake. Definitely a big sea serpent. Huge, in fact. One might say gargantuan.
Awesome. I will reward her with a little bit of seed, and tell her thank you, even though she didn't do jack shit. I still appreciate her.
She did not do jack shit. In fact,
I still
think
love
she got
her.
a better look at it the first time than she did the second time.
She tried, and I'm going to tell her what a brave bird she was, and thank her. And thank her.
And obviously her little chest feathers puff up in pride because she does have an ego. So with that, we have just hit 4:30. I think, half past the hour. I forget everyone's in different time zones. Literally everyone in this call. I think we shall head off to a break here. Give a chance to stretch our legs, refill our drinks, grab a little snack if we need it. And we shall be back in about somewhere between 5 and 15 minutes, depending how long everyone takes. And we will head straight back into the drama and see what Captain Cascade has to say about the matter. And what you will all end up doing. Cool. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone who's joined us so far, and I hope you're enjoying it. And we will be back soon. Cheerio.
Bye.
Hey! Oh, it's
Sexy thumbs, sexy
Uh,
thumbs.
I just my sexy thumbs. Hey everyone, we are back from our break. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is having a good time zone wherever you are. Just before break, well, I think it's safe to say we had a bit of a big lore drops. Big lore drops
Lore
before
from
break.
the lore mistress? Oh my fucking god. On this channel? Oh my god.
Unheard of, frankly.
And we love it.
Completely not my brand. Very, very not me. I was about to say very demure then. Let's not do that. So
Oh, fuck you.
very demure. Okay, so yes, just before the break, we're starting to piece together this mystery, I think. You came up with a little plan. I think if I'm reading correctly, the big plan is to go and figure out what's going on with this snake. But first we need to talk Captain Cascade into the idea. And
A very important piece of the conversation happened actually during break that Kat walked into, which was me asking Lulu how many diamonds we have.
So I feel like the mind's made up, really.
Yep.
Of what it is that you want to do. But of course, Captain Cascade may have something to say about it. So, you make your way back to this sort of beach landing area. Let's pop you back in that scene if I just load it up for you. Here we go. You're
Look
still
at the
all
nice
in
little
like
tents.
the areas. Yeah, I put some tents up and things to make it look a bit more like a camp. They've been busy while you've been gone. You kind of notice Cedric. Let's move Cedric over here. Cedric has been very busy. He's currently cooking something that smells, quite frankly, delicious over the fire. Everyone else is just sort of milling around during the last little bits. Suri seems to be sticking to their spot up on the rock for a bit longer. They're the first to see you as you're kind of walking, and she kind of waves her arms, and she's like, "They're coming back! They're alive!" Cascade just kind of, oh, goodness me. Yeah, everyone kind of looks up. Dion has been kind of helping to prepare for the last little bits of the tents. Cascade is kind of barking orders and maybe giving Cedric a little bit of a hand. And they kind of look up expectantly at you as you make your way in. What do you want to do?
Is there a cascade nearby that we can grab?
Cascade is certainly there. She kind of looks up at you and she's just like, you've returned. Anything interesting? Any luck?
Would you like the good news first or the bad news first?
Do you know what? Let's shake it up a bit. Let's try the good news first.
All right. The good news is that we have somewhat of an idea of what is causing the magical anomalies on this island.
That does sound like good news.
The bad news.
The bad news. That sounds.
The bad news is that the magical anomaly is coming from a giant snake that comes to life every night and eats a large tree and wages battle with what I assume is the skeleton or ancient body of a hero and his warriors.
And we need to break the cycle somehow before the sun goes down.
Before the sun comes up, honestly.
I think everyone just blinks at you and is just silent for a few beats.
And I think I'm just gonna say, there's no gotcha, there's no psych moment. That is just what happens.
Wait. So what you're telling me is this island isn't just chaotic, wild, magic island, and that's just what it is. You're telling me that this is it's caused by something, yes?
Yes.
And there's whatever it is something to do with the serpent skeleton that your bird scouted
Yes.
over there, not too far from camp.
A little bit south, yes.
Okay, and it. Sorry, just run that last bit by me again. It comes to life.
It
at
comes
night.
to life and reenacts its last battle with the champion Therosian and his warriors.
Oh, you really have learned a lot, haven't you?
have.
Oh, you even got the champion's name. Great. How did you get this information, may I ask? Just out of interest.
We asked an Eidolon very nicely.
There's someone here on the an Eidolon.
Actually, a number of them. They are quite drawn to places of great magical power.
The magic.
And
Yes, of course,
Yes.
of course. That makes sense.
we were able to
Alright.
lift the fog on one of them enough to get some information and to give her some relief.
That catches her attention. And I think like everyone has kind of come down. Like the moment that you came down, Suri kind of like climbed down from a little cliff top thing. She's almost like I think that what you're getting a sense of actually here, seeing her on this island, is a fair bit of her grumpiness might be coming from the quite restricted nature of a boat. Being on an island where everything is new and wonderful, she actually seems in pretty good spirits. Like she's her usual like little spunky self, but she seems in quite a good mood, comparative to normal. She kind of climbs down excitedly, and I think that she's been listening. Lulu, with your incredible insight, the moment that the topic of Eidolons comes up, she seems interested.
Suri does.
Suri does. But she seems like she's doing that thing that Suri does sometimes where she's pretending not to be interested, but she seems interested in this conversation, especially when Estrella says that she managed to get through to an Eidolon.
Callista will note that and just kind of like nudge Estrella and, kind of indicate it to her without actually saying anything. And then she's going to continue.
I mean, you do have telepathy.
I was going to say, you could telepathically say it to her if you wanted to.
I could, but that would be casting a spell.
Oh, okay. Sorry, that was a passive ability.
Ah, yes. You are right.
Clever.
I am slowly learning. Callista is going to kind of head over and try to get some stew out of the pot that Cedric is making while she is listening to all of this, because she's not feeling too great. She's hoping maybe that will boost her a little bit.
But is there anything that we have to roll to figure out if I can kind of get what Callista's putting down?
If you kind of perception, roll perception for me.
Okay. Let's find out together.
Oh, do you know what? No, because you've got that little cheeky advantage. Let's just make it an intelligence check. Have you, or actually, I guess it would be more wisdom based, wouldn't it? Let's go with the original perception. My apologies. I'm just trying to incorporate your intelligence.
Yeah.
Your intelligence check that you work so hard for.
It is a 17.
That's pretty good. So, now, I don't know that the two of you have really massively established a sort of like a kind of language yet.
We're roommates, we...
Yeah, you are roommates, but I think that the way that Callista does it is actually a little bit of connection between sort of, I guess, Callista's sort of later lifestyle, like their time with Jericho, versus perhaps some of Estrella's early memories. The way that Callista gets your attention and indicates Suri's interest is in a very similar way that like members of a criminal or perhaps a thieving gang might kind of like point
Set a mark.
out like like kind of just
Okay.
it's a very and I think that you obviously you know that she has spent some time with Jericho. You know that this is probably where she's kind of got it from, but it kind of gives you that memory. I'm so sorry, my cat is causing drama.
Kitty!
Kind of gives you that memory of, are you okay? You can just walk on the. You don't have to balance on the radiator.
Yes, they do.
The most perplexing route was just taken there. So
It's
you kind
really-
of it kind of brings back those memories, sparks that memory for a moment of just like being young and kind of the way that used to be communicated.
And since it's Callista, it's
But
not quite
Suri just
right.
rolled a natural 20. So I
course.
think that Suri has clocked that she's been clocked a little bit.
Well, you know, Callista's not really that good at all of the rogue type activities. She
Yeah.
thinks she's better than she is.
So I think like she's kind of like she was in a little bit too much energy. She was listening, and then you would have seen like that kind of like intense look on her face when Estrella started talking about, oh, and we managed to connect with one of the Eidolons. Like her eyes widen and she's very intently listening. And then she notices the movement from Callista and she watches the two of you exchange a look and look at her. And she kind of looks at the both of you, and then she doesn't like back off, but she kind of just like feigns like I'm doing something else and goes back to like I'm not interested mode, and she pulls back from the conversation a little bit. Maybe with a bit of an eye roll. Little bit of sass from Suri. But Cascade is also interested, and she goes, you managed to get through to an Eidolon.
Well, really, Kelly Yuka did.
How?
By connecting with their soul almost. It's been it's been very difficult being able to do anything without any arcane ability, but it does seem that a lot of the influence that plays on this island is very happenstance. There doesn't seem to be set rules to everything, but some things seem to be recurring. Captain Cascade, have you seen any signs of necrotic energy anywhere here? We do believe that it does tie a lot of the things on the island in some way. But have you heard of any stories before of loud sounds, I guess, from an island at night?
Well, there are many stories about all of the islands. I had never been to this island before, and now that I have landed and the things that you tell me that are here, I must say I've never really heard much of it. I have heard a story of a little bit of what you speak of, a giant sea serpent defeated by a heroic band of warriors. They died in the process of defeating.
Yes.
It was a
The
sort of
undead captain
sacrifice.
the undead captain that you were talking to us about, does he ever venture out during the day?
Yes. Yes, he does. But, I mean, all sorts of magics run on these islands. This island in particular is home to chaos magic. Chaos magic does not answer to a school of magic. I mean, I'm not a magic expert, but I'm sure Australia would agree with
You're
me.
right.
It plucks wildly at the Nyx itself and takes whatever magic it can find. I think that perhaps it's not. My gut tells me that perhaps it is not necromancy that rules this island, but the chaos itself. That being said, the cyclical nature of this, the structure, the reenactment, the repetition, that does indicate that the chaos has not spread or become so powerful that it rules out all order. There is something that can stop this, I believe. If it still has to adhere to rules.
I think if we can, I think we need to intervene. I think we need to break the cycle. Every night, both sides come alive. They fight, and and when the sun rises, they're done and they're gone. I believe
Is
we
that
need to
all that
break that
happens?
cycle.
It fights? This creature, does it do anything else?
It does
It
seem to
eats
be
the tree, I believe. The
yeah.
Eidolon said it eats at the roots of the tree. They called
It
it
seems to
Andromeda.
be. They also said that the tree seems to be hurting, so it clearly does have some sort of feeling, and perhaps is what has existed on this island much longer than the serpent has.
Mm. Did the Eidolon mention if it was eating from or giving to the tree?
It was eating from.
But it could be it could very well be an even exchange. It could be feeding on the order and putting out chaos.
Even though the knight did kill the serpent at some point, it has been cursed to relive the battle, and it does win every night, doesn't it? That's what the Eidolon said.
It wins every night, but then the battle starts again, so it does not win permanently. It
Right.
he temporarily disables this effect until the next nightfall.
It's
I
also
believe we have to break that.
another
To
thing
me,
we don't know is whether this only exists in a radius. If we were to perhaps watch this unfold from the ship, whether casting from the ship as well would play the same sort of wild magical effect on us.
I mean, the problem is in order to get the ship close enough, we would run aground.
yes. And I
Um,
think Hector at this point jumps in and he says, it's possible that the return of this hero is not so much a cause of the strange magic on this island, but a cause of the serpent's uprising. There are plenty of stories in the world of ghosts, undead returning, unfinished business. If
Right.
this warrior considered his duty, his life's goal, to destroy this creature, and then the creature returns,
you think
he may
you think he
then
might be coming back
return
to keep trying?
to destroy it again. He destroys it. He goes back to rest in the underworld until the next night when it is reinvigorated, reanimated, and he is forced to bring back. In which case, if that is the case, his soul will be suffering immensely.
I think that we need to break the cycle. I think we need to break whatever loop they are stuck in, and I think that the reason that this serpent is reanimating is because there is something affecting it. I don't know if it is on the serpent, in the
until we go
serpent.
and have a look.
That said, we are very, very close to sunset, and I kind of glance over at the rapidly setting sun. We can make it. We can make it there. The question then becomes who makes it out, because that thing is going to come alive soon.
We can make it there and possibly have a few minutes to scope the situation.
If we leave
I
now.
don't know if that will be enough time to figure it out, but one thing I do know is that nothing will be done unless we sort this. I think we have a wider mission here also to consider. Of course, I am
Yes.
happy to be on land and exploring, but I do not want us to become so distracted by this that we spend days and days on this island. My
No,
plan here
definitely
was
not.
to stay for just one night, maybe most of a day tomorrow before we set off again. I
Then we
think
have
it
one night.
wise that we stick with this plan. There is also the chance that whatever it is that we need to do can be done perhaps only when the serpent wakes.
That is what I am wondering.
Do you
These
happen to?
warriors will come back. They will provide distraction for this
Yes.
serpent.
Um yes, we have Kat, about how long until the sun's just down?
I think that you could probably head and get to the skeleton after about a 5-minute walk. It's not that far away. I think that the sun will be down. I didn't put my thumb up. I think that the sun will be down probably in the next 20 minutes. So when you get there, you would have about
Like 10, 15 minutes.
10,
Yeah,
15
okay.
minutes before the sun, and this is before the sun. The sun is basically at the horizon now. This is
Right,
before the
right.
sun. Like, it's impossible to tell exactly the moment that the sun will dip. But at a guess, that seems about right.
Baby, baby.
Yeah, I think we should go. I think we need to pick. I think we need to figure out who is going, and we need to go now.
I will also. Oh my gosh! Would have we asked Hector already for healing potions? He doesn't
Does he
have
have
any.
healing potions?
I think he does because he offered one, and then I think one of you was like, "No, use my healing." I think it was you, Calliope. So he did offer one earlier. Then he definitely clocked the slight like, I
I'm
don't want
going.
to use your healing potion energy,
I would like
and he
to.
backed off.
I would
I,
like to
I
give not Callista some healing.
yeah. I want to
Yeah,
I
very.
think, yeah,
I do want
to be
to kind
honest,
of begrudgingly ask Hector, correct? Like, so that additional healing potion you had before. Do you still have it?
Look at Callista. I'm like Callista. I'm like
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
pretty sure
just like.
Callista's hair is like standing on end from the lightning.
yeah, a little bit of like
100%.
burn marks on her face.
I mean, the whole time, Calista definitely said, "Oh, I'm fine," and you just took her completely at face value. Perhaps I should have explained that she did not look fine. She looked kind of beaten up. I think that what Cascade would also suggest is she would say, "Well, we could go now." Then clocking Callista's general manner,
Countenance.
she would say, I would perhaps also, if you feel you need it, suggest that we could rest, allow night to fall, follow these warriors, and scope from afar, move into the situation if we feel it necessary. But that will not give us time to look at the snake before it is alive.
We should go look at the snake. I'm fine. I mean, I'm fine. And worst comes to worst, I just cast a couple healing spells on myself. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I couldn't,
Callista.
What a
DM,
great question to ask in front of your DM.
out of character, do the eidolons seem to be the thing that Eva saw from the ship earlier? The light?
Yes.
Oh, got it,
Yes.
got
They kind of like flitter in and out of like
Mm.
existence almost. So yeah.
it, got it.
Callista, if you tell us that you are fine, we will take your word for it. You are grown.
Well, I mean, if anyone does have a healing potion, that would That would definitely be helpful,
Hector
but
produces
You-
it from his bag and immediately gives it to you. He doesn't even say anything. He's just already got it for you. And
I just
then
very
I think he pointedly looks at Calliope and says, "Unless, of course, you have one to give her."
Oh no, I just find it horrible that someone has to ask you to heal them before you go ahead and do it. The
Well,
shit's
every time
healer.
I've tried in the past, I've been, spurned, rejected, essentially told, "Go screw yourself, Hector." So what am I supposed to take from that?
Like
no,
Kalika's
Callista will
walking
go.
ahead and like talking to Caillou, like, do you hear something?
Callista will go up and
Jesus.
give Hector a hug and say thank you so much.
He'll definitely give you a little hug. He's a very awkward hugger. Gonna
course
just
he
put
is.
that out there. He's
over
not.
like
I
over
don't think he's
Callista.
expecting a hug. I'm thinking this is. I'm not trying to make you all sad thinking this, but I don't know when the last time Hector had a hug was. And
Aw.
yeah.
In
So
this
I think he's
really
a bit like,
nice moment, he's like looking over Callista's shoulder and Kalika is just glaring at him.
yeah, I think, sweat drop. And he kind of like pats her back and he's just like, "Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yes, 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 yes." And it just kind of like, not like pushes you off, Callista, but becomes uncomfortable.
And just out of character, what sized healing potion was that?
It is actually a greater healing potion. So
Nice.
a bigger one.
44 plus 4, baby.
Yes. So that's 4. 4. Wow. 8, 9, 10, 11, 13.
Shit, nice.
Okay, that's
17.
helpful. Yep.
Sexy. So we're all like actually like quite similar hit points. They're what,
Oh.
46 now?
47.
47. Hell yeah.
So yeah, Callista's like, she gives Hector a hug, chugs the healing potion, takes another bite of stew. She's like, let's get going. Let's go see if we can see that skeleton before we lose all our light.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Cool. So, you make your way down towards where this snake is. Now, let me just get the right one. Hopefully this is the right one.
That's not ominous at all.
Oh wow.
Cool.
Big snake.
Big snake.
Oh.
And you find yourself. Who did you ask anyone to come with you? By the way, Tilly's kind of just following
Yeah,
you because that's the
definitely
last order
Tilly.
Tilly was given.
Yeah.
Anyone else that you would want to
Cascade?
come with you?
I would love to invite Dion.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Are we just getting as many up close combat people as possible?
Would Cascade
Yeah,
be into the whole exploration of it?
I think Cascade. There's a part of Cascade that would be interested to go. But I think that as well she has a crew to look after and keep an eye on. So
Wants to come, but she's not coming.
she
Mhm.
basically says, I trust the decisions that you're going to make out there. Just make sure that you come back to us alive, because I don't get paid if you're dead,
We will do our best.
And I think also as you go to leave, if you want Dion to come with you, I
It's more
think
of an
she would allow
invitation.
that. I think she would allow that. Before she said, "I want a person with me and a person with you," but I think she would allow that this time because we've much better assessed the threats on the island. So I think she doesn't feel like she's a threat beyond what's going on over with the snake. So she will say, yes, Dion can come with you. So let's pop him there. I think as you go to leave as well, she will reach out to you, Estrella. Actually, Estrella, can I just a word a moment?
And I will go with her.
I just wanted to apologize for what I said earlier. It was a very insensitive joke. I didn't mean it, of course. You have been nothing but an absolute asset on this boat. A very, if I may be frank, a very egotistical one at times, but still an asset. And I appreciate having challenge in my life. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the perspective that you provide. So it is not, I do not just value your reading and writing and magic.
I know.
Of
I know.
course.
It was the issue was not with you, it was with me. But thank you. And
It
I
was a little bit
appreciate
with me.
having
A good
I
captain
appreciate
must
having the
always
challenge of you
acknowledge
as well.
responsibility. Yes, well, as long as we remember that I am in charge, and I will keep saying that till I'm blue in the face. I am blue in the face, but I will still continue to say it.
Sounds good to me,
And
Captain.
she gives you like a little smile and a little like pat on the shoulder. And she kind of looks at you and then she says, "You're doing good, by the way, Estrella. I feel like you needed to hear that. I called you egotistical, but that's not necessarily a bad thing in some instances."
And like Estrella just like there is a little bit of change in posture. She stands up just a little bit straighter. A few of like the little worry lines smooth out a little bit. Thank you. I did need to hear that.
Yes,
I will bring your crew back to you safely.
as you'd better. And she immediately turns on her heel and walks away. Like, emotional conversation's done now. She's ready to go and move on. She's a little bit, I think she's a little bit like Estrella in that sense. She's just like, right, now we got that out of the way. Let's not touch on that again. Yeah, she lets you go. So you
Awesome.
walk, and it is about a 5-minute walk down. It's a relatively unobstructed path. You end up at this place. You can see they're basically completely demolished at this point. But you can see there are the remains of a very small amount of like crumbling ruins around, mostly crushed underneath this creature. It lies inert. It does not move. It looks like, for all intents and purposes, a skeleton that has sat here for a millennia. It could be. It's a very old. It has not crumbled away. Its bone structure is clearly so tough that is not going to be enough to like decompose. But all sense of like any kind of like flesh or anything that might have been on it before is gone. It's just down to skeleton now. And that's basically the biggest thing that stands out here. The way that it kind of twists around, and whereas the bottom part kind of falls into this pool of water, which you can only imagine, seeing as this was its lair. Probably there is a tunnel there that leads out to the like wider sea, because that would be how it would have got in and out from the island. The top part of it has kind of rested itself on like top of the cliffs, and you can see where its head is. A few of the tree of Andromeda's roots are kind of dangling down there. They look well gnawed. Very, very agitated. Very like the wood is kind of splitting. But they've not been like eaten off. It's like it almost just sort of like looks like it's been chewing on them, but not actually eating them. Or anything like that. It just kind of gnaws at them, sort of thing.
And is this like a skeleton of a fish or something like a structure that was kind of like a
structure.
so
A
does it look
structure.
like a worship podium or something like that?
Roll a religion check.
Okay, let us see. I will also just like say this out loud for anyone with a better religion check.
I was gonna wait
That's
until
a
we got up there to look more closely.
That's a 17, but it's more of kind of like just pointing like, do you think that's like a sacrificial altar of sorts? It's strange, no? That
It
there
is an
seems to be
intelligence check. Religion is
Uh,
intelligence.
Well, yeah. Do you know what? Go on, do an intelligence roll. But yeah, I guess generally you can look at one for the ruins. I'll say to you, Kaliguka, that thing, the head of that thing resembles the head of this creature. So it does look like that some of the ruins and stuff around here, they do look like they're like statues of this creature.
Can I actually make it an investigation to kind of like examine for any clues?
Yes, because I think that intelligence-based checks, it will include investigation, right?
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
still do have, because it hasn't
Yep.
been an
Yep.
hour. And Callista
Mhm,
just wants
mhm.
to do a perception check of kind of the whole area, looking for anything out of place that looks like it might have been from when the sky split open. Anything that looks like.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Do your investigation check. You do your perception check. Let's see what we get. I'm going to say that this is you kind of getting in there now and properly having a look. Callista, you can have a stand back a bit and look.
Yeah,
But
Callista rolled a natural one, so.
So, the low was a 10 for a total of 18. The high was a 19 for a total of 27.
hey, over a 25.
Over a 25. That means it's adequate. It'll do.
All right. Callista.
Yeah, I'm just overawed.
You
Thanks,
are,
mate.
you are a bit too you are a bit too far back to see anything specific. I think you realize a few things in this moment. You realize this is a bloody great snake, and perhaps you had imagined it to be big, but you hadn't quite imagined it to be
Yep.
this big. That's a very distracting thought. Secondly, you are quite far back, and it's only then that you realize that you are not an expert on sea serpent kind of nature, what they're supposed to look like, what looks new, what looks old. You're not an expert really on history.
Nope.
The religion side of thing, what Kaliuka was talking about, absolutely, yeah. This looks like a bit religious, some of the stuff around here, but beyond that, it's more like what you would notice is this is a big snake, a big sea serpent. It looks dead. And right this second, while you're this far back, that is about all you can get from it right now. It's too difficult to really figure out the nitty-gritty of like what might be part of its physiology, if there's something different about it. But
yeah, I think
it's not
Callista's
sensible.
only ever seen skeletons like in the Natural History Museum, and she never paid any attention to that part of any of the tours. So yeah. She's
I am
just-
willing.
I was just thinking that Miletus would absolutely have a natural
absolutely.
history
Mhm.
museum.
I am willing and able to climb up there and get a closer look. In this
All
investigation
right,
check.
well, pop yourself on the map where you're climbing up to.
All right. I
you-
would probably focus more like over here, honestly.
All right,
Yeah.
and just for a little bit of just figuring that out, I would like you to make an athletics check just for the bit of climbing that this is going to take.
Cloak of Arachnida.
Oh, is that what you're wearing? Okay.
Which means that I have a climbing speed equal to my walking speed.
Incredible! Never mind, I didn't say anything.
Could
Sorry,
That
for some
said-
reason, I thought you had a different cloak on. I thought you
I have
had
two.
a...
I have two cloaks. I switched over when we came because I don't need a manta ray cloak on land.
I see. If you're going to switch over, just let me know in the future.
Got
Because
you.
my brain was like, she's got that swimming cloak on, and yeah, but I
Yeah,
mean
I
it's
got you.
fine, but because you have to attune to it and everything like that. So I think the Arachna one does require attunement, right?
Let me double check. Yes, I'm also happy to just make the athletics check, and we can
No,
and
no,
like
it's fine. I'll allow
Okay.
it. You
Okay.
would have had time as you're kind of pulling into the island,
Mhm.
but just as you're kind of, if you decide that's what you're going to do, and that's a very, just so that I know, so that we're not like
Yeah, absolutely.
post wrecking and going, oh no, but I did change it because
I
I
got
didn't
you.
know that.
I got
Cool.
you.
So
Could I also join Astrea? But what I'm looking for is the weak points of the skeleton. I think like when it comes back to life, we don't know whether it actually like, comes back
when
flesh and bone or flesh and
yeah,
blood or not. But I just want to see
you're gonna know if it's got any cracks that you could
yeah,
exploit. Yes.
exactly.
All right. You make a perception check for me.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to go back to this this investigation check. And remind me what you were looking for, Australia specifically.
I'm looking for any further clues to further elucidate exactly like any more information about this thing. If this is supposed to be a place of worship for it, if there's any indication of any weaknesses or any kind of like, I'm really looking for information on this giant fucking thing.
Okay.
And I'm also looking along its length to see if I can spot any kind of anomaly, like a magical shard that's stuck somewhere.
Okay, so those are going to be two separate roles, I
Okay.
think. If you're like admiring the structures and the things around, and you're looking for like things about its story, things about like people worshipping it, that's a very different to looking for along its spine to figure
Mhm.
out if there's something like stuck in it or something. They're kind of like two separate things. So we'll come back to looking for things on it, and I'll give you the intelligence or investigation. It was, wasn't it? Yes, is the answer. This you can see there's not much of these buildings left, and there's the odd like statue or bit of statue that you can see. They all seem to be dedicated to this creature. There is actually where Kaliuka is standing right now. There is like all like steps. They crumble towards the end, and they don't go up to that cliff to like where its head actually is, but Kaliuka, you would be able to kind of climb up there if you wanted to. It's like just a little bit of like a pull yourself up situation going on there. I think what you would get from this, Australia, you are used to like doing a lot of like really detailed work of architecture, and especially ancient architecture. They like to write the stories of their beliefs and their worship kind of into the walls. You know quite often that people tend to like they kind of build up parts of it, and what you might be looking for, especially for hidden information or things that they might not want you to find, is sort of on the inside of the brick where the mortar presses against. You would then like scrape away at that, because that would not be they would consider ancient worshippers, and even like some modern day worshippers do this kind of thing. They would consider like those hidden messages that only the mortar between the bricks would know, to be like part of the building itself, because it's like written in the walls, not on the walls.
I'm praying it's
So
pictograms and not words.
yeah, so you kind of see this, and you kind of start to scrape away at those bits, and that's where you find the real gems, because the mortar has kind of like protected some of that. What you essentially get in terms of some history, let's give you a little bit of history. Ketos, this great serpent, it is said that it will reside for centuries and terrorize the sea. And this place, this lair of its, was once a place where people resided, clearly they didn't have much in the way of architecture, or this was a very, very long time ago and most of it is gone now. But a community used to live here. And it seems that they used to allow this serpent to come here, feed on the tree to enhance its magic. In return, it would not destroy their community, and it would actually protect it from pirates, other warfaring islands, and essentially this community that lived here wished to remain a hidden community. They did not want others to find them. When they struck up a bargain of sorts with this creature that basically would go out and protect their island and feed on people and essentially like kill a lot of people, destroy a lot of other islands, things like that. But in return, it would not harm them here, and they allowed it. They knew they didn't want people to come for them because of the magic of this tree, and they allowed it to draw some strength from the tree by feeding on its roots, because it enhanced it magically and it made it much stronger. It made this serpent much stronger. So they basically worshipped it as a god. They felt like it was their protector god. They did. You rolled very high, so I will say on the side of the stairs, and you'll remember back as well. There was like a big tableau out that Eva kind of got some of, that essentially drew out a picture of the story of a warrior fighting this snake. You see this in miniature again here, this same tableau. And it seems to be a prophecy, almost, a prophecy that someone has had. Perhaps they had an oracle amongst their community, or someone who kind of like talked about what might come in the future. This prophecy predicted that a great warrior and a band of their warriors would come to this island and would kill this serpent, and in doing so would die themselves, and that would be the end of this serpent, essentially.
Interesting. They left out what happens later.
Or they didn't know what would happen later.
They're an oracle. It's their job to know, anyway.
I mean, it talks about it, and I think that it talks about it in a way, or it seems to describe, like, it's basically written in pictures. It seems to describe it in a way of like, we need to figure out a new plan, because at some point our serpent god is going to be killed by a mortal. So we need to either figure out a way to stop that happening, or to find a way off this island and find another way to protect ourselves, basically.
Cool. I'll go ahead and commit that to memory because I don't think I have time to take a rubbing, so I'm just gonna commit it to memory.
And on the way here and around there haven't been any skeletons or anything, right? Does it seem more like it's a habitat that was abandoned over people got?
You don't. It doesn't. You haven't seen up until you got to this point. You haven't seen any sign, apart from those drawings on the cliff face, any sign that humans had been here at all, or humanoids, I should say, had been here at all.
Got it. So they left. The tree is dying. Oh, also I got a 21 total on the perception.
Looking for the weak spots.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, 21 is very, 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 very good. So here's what I'm going to give you. And I think that really this is the information that everyone wants to know, because all three of you have asked it in one way or another. So you are looking for essentially areas that, should this thing come to life, and start attacking everyone in sight, that there would be like places that you could attack it that would be weaker than other places. And I think you do find some Kaliuka. You find like kind of some cracks in the spine, probably where like essentially the area that it would like, where it would like extend itself, kind of like those joints in its vertebrae that it would use most often, are the ones that are kind of weakened. They've rubbed up against each other. You can see where the bones have kind of ground themselves down a little bit, and as you're looking, one thing you do find, and I'm going to draw some shapes now, if I can. If I
love some
can.
shapes.
If I
I want the
can.
shape.
Can I get like a? I bet I can't. I bet this is gonna.
Let's find out together.
I'm trying to be. I want like a I want like a circle, but like with a hollow circle, not like a.
Oh, I think you can do that.
Oh, I think I can do that actually. Yes.
Yeah, because the fill and the stroke.
Yeah, I see.
I love
cool.
a good fill and a good stroke. Anyway.
Incredible. So, sort of this area here. And actually where you are as well now, or around where you are, is probably where you notice it, and it makes you look for other areas. And one here too. So can you all see that okay?
Yeah.
There's 3. You see another one of these cracks, and you realize that there is something embedded inside the crack.
Oh.
It's a high perception check. It looks to be, the closest thing that I can compare it to, it looks to be a piece of horn. Like a shard of horn. Okay? Quite long, so if it is horn, this was quite big. But it looks to be a piece, and it kind of like makes you pause and makes you look, and then you look back down the vertebrae and you see that there are 3 of them. I would say that with your knowledge of fighting, of kind of weaponry and things like that, I would say that you could tell that this is not an accidental impaling. It's not come out from the ground or come from above in any kind of accidental way, because that would create a different kind of trauma. This looks like it has been wedged in quite purposely. And the horn drew your attention, I think, because as you got near it and you got close enough, it sparked that little bit of like chaos magic that resides within you. You felt it. It wanted to connect. It's like that kind of interest. It's almost like, because I've talked about how this chaos magic that's on this island is almost a little bit sentient. It's almost like it felt you nearby and it piqued its interest. And that was enough for you to go, what was that? What was that caused that reaction within me? Let me investigate. So you can see there's one kind of by the neck of the creature. There's one here, kind of like along, about halfway along. And there's one sort of most of the way along, heading kind of towards the water, towards the tail, as it were. The tail that kind of rests within. And yeah, you kind of notice that these things exist, and they're very purposefully kind of like and pushed into
And
the bone.
is it embedded in a way that it goes through the bone into the ground, or more like acupressure or something like that?
It's embedded very deep. I would say it goes right through the bone to the other side, not into the ground, because it's clear that this thing is able to get up and move around with it, but it is definitely deep enough. It will take quite some heft to get it out.
Man, if only we had a few strength-based characters.
Or how about even at the section where the bone is embedded, if I were to break the that vertebrae of the snake, would that help also in any way?
One way to find out.
Roll. Well, help what? What exactly would you be trying to achieve?
Making a jigsaw out of the snake. So I really want to see if it still reconnects or it only moves because it's in one piece and that piece comes alive.
So you could try. What I would say is you don't know that if you believe that this thing is going to create a magical effect, which you know that this is magic, it's got that kind of chaos. I think that Kaliuka could jump to the conclusion that it's certainly fueling some kind of magic, and that's probably affecting the serpent, right? It's not a far leap to take. You don't know if you only snapped it. You don't know for sure that would stop it. That would stop the effect. And if it didn't, it would be incredibly difficult to get that thing out without any leverage to hold on to.
First shout to let the others know the sites
Absolutely.
that it's been embedded. Do you think we should? I think that we should break this bone that's been embedded into the snake. It seems to be fueling that sort of chaotic magic that is all over the island. I feel
What
like
exactly
somebody.
is it?
I feel like someone is using this to bring the snake back to life. I don't know if it's someone, but it does feel like someone has very thoughtfully embedded this into the snake with the concentration of chaotic energy. And it might be easier for us right now to break this before the sun goes down,
I'm
before it
inclined to
comes back.
agree.
I don't know though if we hit it, whether it won't try to attack us in some way as well.
I mean, we have a few minutes to try, and we do have several quite strong folks here. But if we're going to do it, we have to do it now before it wakes. I suggest we start at the head, because that's going to be the hardest to get a hold of, if it does wake.
If you're going to attempt to do these all before it wakes, I would just put out there that it might take some time to go from one space to one space to one space. You've literally got a few minutes, so it's better, I would posit, for each of you to try and take a different thing and maybe have some help from Dion and Tilly.
Exactly. Yeah.
If that's what your plan is, because I think you would figure out that if you all try to do one, it'll then take you time to walk to the next one and the next one, and you don't have that much time.
I'm kind of thinking maybe we could have Kaliuka with Eva on one, Callista with Dion, and then like me with Tilly or something.
Yeah. Well, could Eva participate in us?
I just kind of assumed she was like T-posing or something.
Eva is absolutely here. Eva is being very quiet today. Eva is, Eva, yep. I can give you all advantage with the assumption that Eva is here with you as well.
Can I give Dion advantage instead? Or whoever I'm taking, Tilly, Dion, whatever.
Yes, I will allow that. I will allow the strongest to do it. But obviously, you're both pulling. You're
Yeah,
both.
yeah.
You're
Mhm.
The whole
both
game's strong.
attempting to take the thing out. Okay.
Just really
Um,
quick before we attempt it, since Callista's gone up kind of to the midsection, does she either recognize what kind of an animal the bone is from, or the horn is from, or does it look like it's been carved, or there are any runes in it, or it's been modified in any way?
Yeah, is it like an arcane
Interesting.
focus by any chance or something like that?
So you want to basically know if it's like part of an animal or if it's like a man-made thing.
Yeah, if Callista recognizes what it's from, or if it's
roll nature or survival for me.
So 16.
16.
16
Yeah.
survival.
What did you roll? Oh, survival. Okay. It's very, very similar in genetic makeup, I think, to a goat's horn. But actually, I think that what you would do when you look at it is would make you think of Hector. It doesn't look like an animal's horn, just the curving of it, and because satyr horns are a bit different. They look like goat's horns, but the kind of like the texture of them, the way that they are made up, the way that they kind of curl. And this does have, actually, it's quite long, but it does have a bit of curl to it. Hence why it will be a bit difficult to remove. But yeah, I think you would look at it, and that is what you would think of. It looks like a quite large satyr horn.
Well, Callista would holler that out to everyone else.
All right. Are you who wants to go first?
Not it.
I want to try the head, like where I'm at.
I think you're already there, so that makes the most sense. You're already there. I think it will take. Actually, let's do this in order. I think you're already there. Callista will probably get to the midsection quicker, and then Estrella will get to the bit after. We'll say who's taking Dion, who's taking Tilly.
I'll take Dion.
I'll take Tilly.
Got it. Okay, so Dion over here with you. And Tilly can run quite fast, does a lot of good climbing, will make I love the Australia, just like, I need all the help I can get.
Well, so does Callista.
Yeah, let me get Eva over here actually as well. Eva's going to
this is gonna go great. What could possibly go wrong?
So now I'm gonna put this out there. The Kaliuka, the one you've taken, the head, it is going to be the DC is going to be higher because this one is much harder to maneuver. It's got a bit of a twist to it. It seems to be kind of slightly buried under, like where it comes out, it's kind of buried under the neck, where the neck is kind of resting on this thing. So it's going to be more difficult to get this one out. So I'm going to make the DC higher for this one, but the other two have the same DC. They're a little bit lower. So you've got the trickiest one, basically. I would like you to roll for me. Go on.
Could I do an athletics to try and like basically crack the tooth?
So yes. So are you trying to take the whole thing out, or are you trying to crack the bone around it? Are you saying?
Yeah. I want to. So I do. So basically, I want to kind of challenge the wild magic that it has because it's trying to attune to me, and I will take my Morning Star and try to like essentially wedge it in so deep that it cracks out of the whole thing. Like you're pushing something in to a hole that it's too big to fit in, and it just starts to spread and just kind of like crack and do yeah.
So I get it. So you want to affect the bone around it that's holding the thing in place, in hopes that if you kind of chip away around that and crack that bit, then this thing will be easier to pull out. Yeah.
I don't want to pull out the bone. I want to kind of like break the bone so that it essentially just like maybe even beheads it in with the same force.
Ah, okay. Okay, so you're just going straight for.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if I could,
I'm gonna say to you, you can try this. You can try this. I'm gonna say to you that this will take some time.
oh,
So
so it would be easier to remove it.
still going to be a hard DC. You probably would be able to see from this bone. It's very tough. It's been exposed to these elements for so long, and it's still kept itself in pretty good shape. It's a very tough bone. It's going to be difficult to like track through. It's not impossible, but it's not going to be like a one like let's try and pull. It's going to be like some time sitting there and hacking away at it basically. Again, not necessarily a bad idea, but the sun is about to set, so
Got
you
it.
might not do it in time. That's what I'm gonna
Then I'll try
posit.
to pull it out. Since I'm gonna take a real chance at this, but I'm gonna go into rage
Hmm.
while doing this
Yeah.
to kind of just have like a sort of weird combat of wild magic, and also like just add to why I'm getting an advantage for the roll as well.
Okay. When you go into rage, does it not activate your wild magic immediately, or is it when you whack something that it does? I'm trying to remember.
It happens when I go into rage, essentially.
Yes. Okay.
Um, so
Okay.
okay, on the wild magic surge, I roll a 6. Let's see what a 6 is. Um,
We're going to be using normally yes, but we're going to be using the islands one for this. It is
oh,
an automatically thing, so I need you to actually roll a d. Well, it's going to be a d20
got
first,
it.
to see how big the effect is.
That's a 12.
12. 12 I think is just like a little minor inconvenience. Sure. Yes, it is.
Minor.
So now roll a d100 for me.
Oh, okay. That is 30?
30.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is actually quite a nice one, I think. I don't know how useful it's going to be, but you are kind of like
Please don't levitate.
I guess
I
as
don't
you're
want to
trying to do
levitate
this,
again.
no, as you're doing this, you're trying to like chat away to Eva, who is obviously being incredibly quiet, which is not quite like Eva right now. But as you're doing it, you get the sense that like Eva is connecting with everything you say really, really well, and just like
Oh.
really you're feeling your oats, you're feeling it, you feel empowered, you feel confident. You were the one that discovered these things, Estrella with all her magical knowledge, and Callista with all the wisdom didn't see this, and you did, and like that's given you this huge confidence boost. You feel on top of the world, and you get to add you might want to write this down, you get to add your proficiency bonus to all charisma checks for the next
Oh,
hour if you
not
don't already have it.
Inconvenience.
Yeah. Well, okay. So actually, what I should say is that it doesn't say. It says nuisance, but I think what it means is like very minor, like a very minor effect. It can be a positive effect sometimes. So in this way, that's how you feel. roll your roll. I'm trying to think to go. I think I'm going to go for a straight strength check here,
Okay.
and you get it at advantage with Eva's help.
Got it. Oh my gosh.
Did you roll 2 ones?
No.
I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Okay, that's
Oh.
fine. All right. I'm not going to say that the confidence diminishes. It takes a little hit. The pride takes a little hit as you get yourself ready, you get yourself in perfect leveraging position. Go to pull. There's not even a tiny bit of movement. And
Oh
maybe you underestimated how much strength you need to put into this. Maybe you didn't go full strength, okay? Maybe you kind of just went, yeah, this will be easy for me, and everyone was hyping you up, and everyone was like, oh, let's send Eva over to Kaliuka because she's one of the strong ones, and you were just like, yeah, I just do this with my little finger. The bone is actually a little bit harder in there than perhaps you originally envisioned, yeah? So that's your go. We move to Callista. Callista, I would like to. I'd like to get you to roll me a strength check with advantage. Oh no, I'm going to actually be doing it with Dion. Sorry, aren't I? So
Yes, I will definitely give Dion advantage because you don't want to
Dion,
use my.
yes, Dion
my
is
strength.
Dion's strength that we want.
Yeah, you don't want my +1 strength.
All right. Okay. Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so I feel like Dion went down the same path as Kaliuka and rolled a 3. So Dion also grabs onto this thing and he goes, "Okay, if you just get your like a, if you just come under my arm, and he's kind of trying to direct you, and he goes to pull, and the first pull does nothing. Okay, time is ticking away. But more importantly, Callista, the moment that you touch this horn,
Mm-hmm.
everything around you, Dion's words, everything that's happening, suddenly fades away for just a moment. It's like the whole place goes silent. And he's talking at you, and he's trying to gesture, but it's like you can't focus, you can't concentrate. And you hear a voice. Something is here that you are missing. Something that will help you on your journey. And you hear it from behind you. You recognize the voice. It is Clothis's voice. Do you look?
Yeah, Callista would turn and look.
And this is probably why Dion failed the strength check, because he goes to pull and you pull away and turn. You turn and look. And suddenly this island looks very different. This overgrown foliage that was here before is right back. It is nowhere near the level that it was at. Some of these ruins are not so crumbled away. It's like it's still an island in ruins, but not as old. It's like you're looking at it in a different time. And you see people. You see a woman, a child, and you see a sort of couple of what looks to be guards. They're dressed in some kind of guard uniform. They are accompanying, but kind of keeping their distance. And it's this path that you have all kind of come up towards this area. And they are walking up it now towards you. lighting in this, it feels strange. It feels like you're here as an observer, not as a participant. And you watch as this woman comes forward. She has like sort of beautiful braided blonde hair, but you have never seen her before. And this child kind of follows her. She's holding like a jug of water, and it looks like it's difficult to see from here exactly what it is, but it looks like it has some kind of inscriptions on it. Perhaps it is it seems to hold some very special import, and this woman is kind of explaining things or talking at this child, and she's listening. The child too has blonde hair. You can see the resemblance. And as she talks, they kind of get up to where you are and almost at your level. And she continues, the guards continue. The child stops suddenly. She looks around. And you hear a low, deep voice. Child. And she looks alarmed for a moment. She looks like she can't. She's looking around to see where this voice comes from. Hello? The voice repeats again. Child. And then her mother comes back into view, and she says, Helene, keep up. And she snaps out of it and rejoins her mother's side. And you are pulled out of this moment. You found that while you were in this, you have walked some distance away. You look up at the sky, and the sun dips completely below the horizon. People are calling your name. And the sky turns dark. Night falls. You hear the sound of war as a horn is blasted out. I can hear a very, very loud, like...
Yeah,
Do you remember
sorry.
what that is?
That's my neighbor cutting down trees.
I mean, it's adding perfectly.
So we didn't have time to do ours.
No. I will do yours at the beginning of the next session, because we are going to end the session here. And we'll see if you manage to get it out before. But it will be overlapped with things happening with Callista. But just to kind of overlap that moment. But yes, so night has kind of taken over the island. It was pretty clear that you were not going to do this in time from the fact that two of you failed. Otherwise, I would have obviously addressed that now. You hear the sound of a horn of some kind from some far off part of the island. It is a recognizable horn of war or of warfare or of battle. The island is bathed in a deep glow of red. And you know what, let me show you guys before we head off too.
Oh boy.
It will move you back around again, that's the only thing, but this
Oh, very cool.
this creature behind you, Kaliyuka, you would feel it. It's right next to you. Estrella too. It almost like vibrates. Each vertebrae locks into place, part by part, and you hear this low and menacing exhale of a sort of screeching breath. And we will leave the session there. I think it's valiant that you attempted strength checks, and obviously if you just managed to get these out, that would have been great. But
hey, now Callista rolled a strength check just on her own, and she rolled a 4. So
better than Dion, in fact.
I have to make a note of something because I was going to do a thing and I'm definitely going to forget before next time.
Oh boy. All right. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for joining us as we end another episode of Therosian Odyssey. Oh boy, my party are in trouble. And let's head around. All right, we want some true chaos. I'm gonna let you decide which order that you want to go in.
Not it.
Yeah, okay, let's go head to tail, like our terrible strength rolls, okay? Like, hi, I'm Kumi. I'm so sad that I rolled a 1 and 2. I'm gonna be thinking about this for a long time. Oh gosh, okay. Where to find me? You can find me at Kumi Curiosities. I'm usually over at the Pigeon Killers. We just had a duo of like really cool games playing The Between with Wes from Karen Comfort and Jason Cordova. A lot of fun. We are currently doing a DN duet also on the TPK channel where we are playing Beowulf, and that's going pretty well. It's interesting to see a 1DM, 1 player system. Yeah, that's all from me. I'm excited to come back to this in 2 weeks. Oh my gosh, and like maybe keep my dice out in the moonlight or something, like...
Bathe them in that energy.
It's a barbarian thing. It's got to be. I run a D&D game, and my barbarian constantly rolls nat 1s. I mean, it's like getting to the point where she just expects to roll nat 1s every time she rolls. So
it's like that must be so like I've just got like this one thing that I'm good at in this game, and if I can't do that, then what?
Yeah, the perception
who's
went
next?
so well. Like,
I think you should be
like
next, Kat.
perceiving and intelligencing all over the show, but the moment you were like, I was like, right, Kaliyuka, it's very simple. Just pull something out the ground. This is a barbarian thing. You were like, I got this, boss. Oh no, I don't.
If you want chaos, Kat, you should go next.
Sure. Okay, I'll go next. Hey, I'm Kat. I'm otherwise known as the Law Mistress all over the interwebs. Not all over, a tiny corner of the interwebs, really. I have been the DM for this game, and I am every other week for this game. I also play other games on this channel. I like playing solo games on this channel. I stream video games on this channel sometimes, and I write for tabletop role-playing games. Got a very exciting project kickstarting soon in October called Argonaut. But other than that, I like folklore, mythology. I don't know if that's clear from this game that we're playing here. And lore, believe it or not, is kind of my jam. So that's been me. Someone else?
I'll hop in. Hello, friends. I am Jen. I am on various social medias at JenBurb, but I mostly just spend all of my time on Twitter. Yep, that's pretty much me. I spend a lot of time over at Girls Run These Worlds and also over here, and that is who I am as a person. Popcorning it over to Lulu.
And hi, I am Lulu. I've been playing Callista, the party's cleric, and you can find me at Lulu NWA. Not that I'm ever on social media, it feels like anymore. because when I am and I post a photo of one of my Lego people, I get like 2 people to see it. So anyway, I do take photos of Legos and dice and my minifigures that I paint, and maybe someday I'll start doing that again. It's been a long summer. But I am very thankful to have this game every couple of weeks to even though I think we're all gonna die here next
I
session.
know.
Hey, that would be a terrible end to this story. But
It's
you
okay.
might get.
I have diamonds.
Cool. Well, I was about to be like Lindsay, but you know that's all of us that are here. Cool. Thank you so much for joining us. As I said, we will be back in 2 weeks' time with our next episode, and we will find out and possibly head ourselves into combat. I will get people to make some rolls in advance to make that an efficient process for us all. And yeah, we've been really, really, really happy to jump in and play this game, as we always are. Thank you so much for joining and watching. I've seen a pretty solid viewership throughout, a lot of lurkers here, so thank you very much for that. And we will see you in 2 weeks' time, everyone. Cheerio!
Bye.